Bandana Blake back, more content for the culture. And today, man, we got something good today. We're going to be talking about Georgia DA Fani Willis' explosive testimony that she had to give in the Donald Trump trial that she is now being brought into with allegations of misconduct. So she charged Donald Trump and 18 other co-defendants in August for conspiring to overturn the 2020 election. Now, four of the guys have pled guilty, and Trump and a few others have pled not guilty, and they're taking it to trial. But she brought on a special prosecutor for this trial who they found out that she been fucking, right? So at the end of the day, they have now brought up misconduct allegations on her, and it has turned into a whole thing. Yo, this is mad interesting the way everything is playing out, and we're gonna check this out because this is hilarious to see this all playing out, especially because she's in the public eye right now with everything happening with Young Thug's trial, and she's the DA who brought the RICO on Young Thug. So I'm sure his team is into this as well because this is madness. So NBC News. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is set to resume her bombshell testimony Friday in a hearing that threatens to derail the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump. The district attorney's office is expected to call at least 3 new witnesses to the stand, including Willis's father, while seeking to quash a push for her airline records. A dispute over who paid for trips Willis took with the lead prosecutor in the case against Trump is at the center of the allegations against her. So they're trying to say like she was smashing the dude and they go conspired to get him and get him a little leg up, like you taking care of me, I'm gonna take care of you, don't worry baby, mama got you. So she laid it out for him, made him the special prosecutor in the case so he could get all of the shine and everything that's gonna come along with it, and one day he too could be the head dog, the big DA and all of that. So they are all discussing all of that now in trial. An attorney for one of Trump's co-defendants said Willis's Delta Airlines records may reflect previously undisclosed trips by Willis and special prosecutor Nathan Wade amid claims that Willis personally benefited from their relationship. The attorneys face misconduct allegations that could lead to Willis's removal from the case. Willis dropped her bid to avoid testifying in a surprise turn on Thursday, taking the stand after a former friend disputed the timeline of her relationship with Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor. Willis acknowledged this month that she had a personal relationship with Wade, but denied that it was improper. You're confused. You think I'm on trial, Willis said Thursday during she had several contentious back and forth exchanges with attorneys for Trump and the co-defendants. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial. So, Robin Yeardy, who first met Willis in college and worked in the DA's office until 2022, so she knows her very well, claimed that Wade and Willis may have been romantically involved as early as November of 2021, which would contradict an affidavit that they signed earlier. But both prosecutors repeatedly insisted during testimony Thursday that their relationship began in early 2022. So this is a matter of merely a couple of months and ended last year. Wade testified that Willis reimbursed him in cash for trips that appear on his bank records, which Trump and his co-defendants have sought to portray as proof that she benefited financially from their relationship. So it would kind of look like he was paying for trips that they was going on, and she was reimbursing him under the guise of this was a work trip, or this was something related to one of my trials that I'm working on, or things like that. And the reason why it's a big issue is because these are public figures. These are people that are paid by tax dollars. So if she's using our tax money and the citizens of the state of Georgia's tax money to reimburse her boo for taking her to Turks and Caicos for a weekend to, you know what I'm saying, get freaky, then yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem, ma'am. That's inappropriate. You need to sit down. You know what I mean? You wilding out, miss. What's up with you? So Willis's removal would be a major upheaval in the sprawling racketeering case against Trump. With the delay it takes to find a new prosecutorial team, making it increasingly unlikely that a trial would take place when? Before the November presidential election. Now, we need to see how she was acting in that courtroom, because I'm telling you now, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I'm like, yo, the fact that this is the DA tripping out like this, carrying on like this on the stand, I was surprised.
I'm not as versed as him. He's been to 6 of the 7 continents. And so he has both a personal travel agent and he also has a cruise travel agent. I don't know anything about either of those kind of travel agents. So he is the one that would book the travel, but we need to be clear when we're talking about just because he booked it doesn't mean, like, I don't consider him having taken me anyplace. Let me just be honest. The only one that's ever taken somebody someplace is for his 50th birthday. I consider that I took him to Belize. And I took him to Belize because, I don't want to discuss his personal business, but I'm happy Mr. Wade is still here with us. And I did 50 big. Very big.
So still on that.
What did she just say? I did 50 big? Very big? Wait, hold on.
To Belize because, I don't want to discuss his personal business, but I'm happy Mr. Wade is still here with us. And I did 50 big. Very big.
Okay, she did 50 big, very big. Like she did it up for his 50th. Is that what she's trying to say? Like, yo, I did it up for dude. Like, I did it big, very big. She took him out to Belize, put it down on dude. Look, I first of all, the way she's speaking, this is surprising. I've seen her so many times on television. I didn't know she's she around the way girl type. You know what I'm saying? The way she's speaking, like, wow, this is interesting. Okay.
So still on that October
timeout, which is also interesting because there's allegations that she messed with one of the dudes who was a rival with Young Thug named Peanut. So if she is a round the way chick and a kind of a down home hood chick type, really at the core, is it really that far-fetched then that she did have a relationship with a street dude, a hood dude? Damn, this is good. This is getting good. That's why they saying that she got the RICO, by the way. But those not to know, they saying that Young Thug RICO was brought on him because he was beefing with this dude named Peanut who got killed, and she vowed to get revenge on Nut's killers because she was messing around with Nut, is what they alleged. And if this the way she talking, I did it 50 big, real big, while she's on the stand and knowing that the world is watching, holy smoke. Maybe it's truth. Maybe it's truth to this.
Royal Caribbean cruise, even though he had a travel agent. I'm sorry?
If you do me a favor, I don't know what cruise ship, what time. So if you'll help me and say October cruise with Mama, or the New Year's Eve trip with his sisters, I'll be able to, we can communicate. I just don't know which ship.
October cruise with Mama. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He paid for the cruise and the flights for that trip.
So He called his cruise agent and he booked that through them because he has a cruise agent.
Right.
He also has a regular agent. I don't know the cruise agent's name.
So I wasn't asking about his travel agent. I was just asking
but
if
I'm
he
trying
paid
to,
for those.
He did not, though.
Okay.
Because the reason I consider that he did not is I gave him his money back.
And I was about to ask that. But initially, he paid for that.
Yeah, he called his cruise agent. Like, I think they have his card on record. They do whatever.
Okay. So initially, he paid for the cruise and the flight to Miami and the Royal Caribbean cruise.
And my understanding of that October cruise is like it was a package the lady did for him.
Okay. So, and I'll get to the reimbursements and all that. I'm just trying to confirm he paid for the flight and the cruise in October.
And I think that when you say things that way, I want this record to be
Initially.
abundantly clear that he calls his travel agent, he calls his cruise agent. They do whatever he tells them. He's like on a first name basis with these people. They do it. And then he tells me how much it is and I give him the money back. I don't, just like you're asking me about the money with Robin, I don't do my friends like that. So if you tell me it's a G, then you're going to get $1,000. Whatever it is, I didn't ever make him produce receipts.
You tell me it's a G. This is the DA. This is the head. Like, listen, I'm not saying there's anything particularly wrong with the way she's speaking. It's kind of jaw-dropping that she speak like, you know what I'm saying? Like she speak like the culture, like the dialect, the jargon, you know what I mean? Like, okay.
To me, whatever he told me it was, I gave him his money back.
Isn't it true that he paid?
It was a G. She a G. Fuck you who you talking to? Look how her whole disposition, how she got her face right now. Like what? Like and what? I did it big for him. If it was a G, that's what it was. That's why I don't do my friends like that. Like what the fuck? This who y'all elected down there? This who y'all got? I'm sure she ain't no joke when it comes to them books though. She probably sharp as shit on them laws. Somebody who got this far, talking the way she talk and carrying herself the way she trust me. Don't let this fool y'all. She know the law like the back of her hand. Believe that. But damn, she raw.
Not asking about reimbursement or after. He used his credit card to buy the cruise and buy the flight, correct?
I have no idea how he paid for it, if it's a credit card, if it's a debit card, but certainly he called his cruise agent. You know, like how many people have a cruise agent? He calls his cruise agent, tells them where they want to go. They tell him what's booked. And you have to remember, he paid for that initial was me, him, and his mother.
And then after that cruise, you all flew to Aruba and spent a couple days in a hotel there, correct?
Right. And his mother was not happy.
He
that we left her
initially paid
behind.
for that. He initially paid for that.
For Aruba, yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about both of those. I know he initially paid for it. Did you pay him back?
For the cruise and for Aruba, yeah, I gave him his money before we ever went on that trip.
You gave him cash before you ever went on the trip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you got cash to pay him back on these trips, would you go to the ATM?
No, lady.
You would not go to the ATM?
No.
Okay. So Fulton County pays you direct deposit, I assume?
Yes, Fulton County and the state of Georgia both pay me direct deposits.
Okay. So the cash that you would pay him, you wouldn't get it out of the bank?
I have money in my house.
You have money in your house. So it was just money that was there.
When you meet my father, he was going to tell you as a woman, you should always have, which I don't have, so let's don't tell him that. You should have at least 6 months in cash at your house at all times. Now, I don't know why this old black man feels like that, but he does. When we were growing up, my daddy had 3 safes in the house. So my father's bought me a lockbox, and I always keep cash in the house. Now, I don't do it to the degree that my...
Now, I don't know how smart this is that this lady is up here talking about how much money she keeps in her house. I think that's a little bit crazy. Like, why are you admitting that you keep... Of course, she said she don't have 6 months worth of it, because how much money she probably makes, she probably can't keep $500,000 in her house. She probably makes that in 6 months or less. But This is really interesting. What's so interesting too is because when you see certain people in certain positions, that's when I first started getting into like the corporate world when I was young. I used to look at certain people as in the CEO positions and CFO positions and say to myself, oh man, I don't have that type of I don't have that type of uptightness about me and to be in those type of positions, because I know I would drop the ball. I would do something reckless. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit reckless sometimes. So it's like, man, but then when you start to find out and you hear the rumblings and the rumors and the little things, and you start to say, oh shit, these motherfuckers ain't no different than me. These motherfuckers is the same as me. I fuck my coworkers, they fucking their coworkers. It's just they do it on a different level, so that way they're protecting each other in a sense, right? So she's doing it with somebody who's rising through the ranks. So she thinks, all right, I could dibble and dab with him a little bit, and it ain't gonna go but so far, or so she thought. Now she in this situation and all her business, and she just forthcoming with it. Like she just like, yeah, I met his mama. We left. The mama was mad because she ain't get to go on the trip. Like, yo, Fani keeping it a buck. All right, Fani, tell us more.
Father would do it, so he would probably be ashamed with me, but I always have cash at the house. That has been, I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to. I don't go on any dates, but when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from? If it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is fungible. We've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you, I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today as I would normally have, but I'm building back up now. So you just put money in. It's a very good practice. I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from?
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me. What you asked me for is, when did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No. It's important. You said, where did the money come from? And I need to tell you where the money came from. And so for many, many years, I have kept money in my house. That money in my worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house of cash. At all times, there's going to be cash in my house.
She's balling. She said 15K in the crib. Man, listen, Fani, I hope you got security, because you are putting a lot out there that a lot of people have never touched $15,000 at one time, let alone just sitting in your crib. Oh, wow. Please make sure, I hope her security is up, because she balling, y'all. This is what it's like when you dealing with women on another level. You know what I mean? Like, fucking sitting here listening to all these broke women on Instagram all day talking about take care of me, pick me. She said he took me on a trip and I gave him the bread back. Woo! Picture that.
Or wherever I'm laying my head.
The money that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from.
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
You know which job it came from. Did it come from Fulton County or did it come from a private job?
It came from, what are you talking about? So it could have come from a private job, because before I was DA, I was in private practice. So I earned money during that time period. It's probably in there. It could have. What do you mean I don't know where it came from? I
understand the situation. We can move on.
Okay, thanks. Same with Aruba. You don't know where that cash came from either, right?
Ma'am, you are mischaracterizing my testimony greatly. I'm not going to allow you to mischaracterize my testimony. I know that I keep money in my house. The amounts of money I gave to Mr. Wade, it was never that serious. I don't think I've ever handed him more than $2,500 in a reimbursement. So we're not talking about $20,000 in cash. I don't have $20,000 in cash right now. The most I ever gave him, I know I gave him $2,500 when we went to Belize, because we went to one hotel and then we went to a second hotel. That $2,500 I actually gave him while we were still in Belize. I know that the Aruba trip, the one that you described with his mom, I think I gave him about $2,000 for that trip, for like total.
His mom went to Aruba with you?
The Aruba trip. So I consider that to be one trip. So we got off of a cruise ship and then we went to Aruba, which is why I cannot remember is that the time that we had to stay in Miami to wait for the flight for Aruba. So I consider that one trip, that we didn't like come back to Atlanta and leave. We flew down to Miami. We got on a cruise ship. We spent a couple of days with his mama. We came back to Miami. When we came back to Miami, either that day or the next day, we flew to Aruba. We spent a few days in Aruba and we came back. That was really one trip. Even though we went two places, it was one trip.
So let's talk about the California trip.
Now,
Is that when you were moving your daughter out to California? When you all went, or did you have two trips to California?
my daughter doesn't live in California.
Did she ever live in California?
I'm not discussing to you the location of my child.
So how many times did you go with Mr. Wade to California?
Once.
And you all stayed in Napa Valley and he paid for the plane tickets and the hotel?
He paid for the plane tickets and the hotel.
And what did you pay for on that trip?
I gave him much less cash that time, probably $400 or $500, and then I paid for a bunch of stuff. I think we did 2 different wine tours that you do, which are pretty expensive. I think I bought him, he likes wine. I don't really like wine, to be honest with you. I like Grey Goose. I bought him a bottle of wine while we was.
Yo, I'm done with her. I'm done. Yo, she get loose off the goose. Yo, Fani, listen. Fani a real one. She said, I'm like Grey Goose. You know you a real one when you talk about I like Grey Goose. Why you understand? Yo, this is different. Atlanta, this is why black people love Atlanta. Only in Atlanta, somebody like Fani could reach the heights that she reached in the black Mecca, the black metropolis, where it's like, look, man, the way you carry yourself, the way you ain't gotta be all uptight and stush. Like, nah, be you, and you gonna thrive as long as you on your A game. Shout out to Atlanta, man. This is entertaining. Like, she is raw, real. She don't give a fuck.
There. And the sippings that you do, I can't remember how many, like 4 or 5 different places you go. I remember we went to this place that they do pairings. That was the most expensive thing that I think that we did while we were there. So they would pair champagne, chocolate, and caviar. It was it was like 3 different things. Sweden, Russia, someplace else. I'll make that. But that was I paid for that.
You pay cash?
For us doing that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that trip did not cost me a lot of money. I might have took like $750 in cash on me because we weren't gone very long.
I'd only asked if you paid in cash. I don't need nothing else.
When I travel, I always take cash.
And is the cash that you keep in your house, or do you keep it at the condo that you were living in?
So at that point, it wouldn't be at my house, and I'm sorry if I was not clear. The money would be wherever I laid my head. So I wouldn't leave the money at the house. But if I was unclear, no, money's gonna be where I stay.
How much did you pay for your trip to Panama?
To where?
Panama, I believe.
I didn't go to Panama.
I may have the location wrong.
I never went to Panama.
So
Wade went to Panama with his frat brother.
Oh, he went to Panama with his frat brothers. So tell me about, let's see. So I want to make sure I've got them. I've got Belize. You already covered Belize. You covered the.
So let me tell you our real trips. In October, we went on the cruise with his mom. We got back from the cruise with his mom and we went to Aruba. I consider that one trip. Second trip, New Year's Eve, we went on a cruise to the Bahamas. That's the second trip. Let me make sure I get this right. Third trip, 100% on me. I think he might have spent $200 on that entire trip. We went to Belize.
Was that shade? Was she? Is that why they don't deal with each other no more? Cause she threw that out there like, this nigga, he'll be breaking off the bread. She said he made him spend like $200 on that trip. Like, what's all that about? What's all that about? He made me put $200 on that trip. God damn. Shout out to him. We up to 3 trips. It's been like 4 or 5 months. They island hopping. It's nice on that side with Fanny. Okay.
That was my trip. That was, his 50th. And then Napa Valley, we went around May. I don't know the dates, but it seems to me like it was close to Mother's Day.
And those are the only trips?
So that the record is complete. I can remember one time driving to South Carolina, and we met my sister for lunch with her man.
When was that?
I don't know, but we didn't stay the night there. But I guess people would consider that a trip if you drive somewhere and you come back. That was insane because it was like 5 hours to drive. We ate lunch and we drove right back. I can remember driving to some little town in Georgia. I don't even know where I was. I had never been there before or after. There's some boat you can get on over to, and there's like a slave thing, if that gives anyone any reference. We didn't do that. I remember doing that. I remember driving one time to Charlotte. We had lunch with one of my very close girlfriends. And again, we drove to Charlotte, met my girlfriend for lunch, and drove right back. So that's a trip. We didn't stay the night there, but I just want to be complete in my testimony. We drove someplace, had lunch, drove back. I don't remember another driving someplace distant for lunch and coming back to Charlotte to see a girlfriend, to meet my sister in South Carolina. We went by ourselves when I told you about that remote place in Georgia. We could have driven someplace else and had lunch and came back. That's all that comes to my recollection right now. There could have been another place we drove and had lunch. My security team was very clear to me. I'm not to be out and about in Atlanta without them. And so for me to do something just very normal that a normal person would get to do, they weren't prosecuting this case, I got to drive 4 hours to do it.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Your security detail, did they take you to and from your house?
So I haven't been able to enjoy my home.
Condo, I'm sorry.
Since March of
where you lay your head? Did they take you to and from where you lay your head?
99% of the time.
Would they take Mr. Wade to and from wherever you laid your head?
That has never in the history of ever happened, ever, okay?
Your security team has never taken him?
From my house?
That has never in the history of ever happened. This is the head. I keep saying this because this shit is so surreal to me. Like, this is the head prosecutor in the state of Georgia, Fani Willis. We gotta come up with a nickname for her. Fanny Pack? That Fanny Pack Willis, you know what I mean?
That's a lie.
If they've ever taken him in.
And I'm telling you that that's never happened.
So your security team has never taken Mr. Wade
My security team has never taken Mr. Wade from any place where I have lived and brought him here. Never. Not once. Not ever.
Have they ever taken the two of you together?
To where?
Anywhere.
We've left this building and gone to lunch, but I go to lunch so rarely that is a very rare occasion, I am sure. And let me be clear, it wouldn't just be Mr. Wade. So I'm sure my security team has taken me to lunch. Probably been a time I've left here 7 o'clock, gone to get something to eat. And I don't even know that they would have taken him or if he would have driven himself, but they've taken me to do that. But we're talking very few, very far in between. Most days I don't even eat lunch. And when I do, it's because my assistant has heated up some bag, something, and I eat through meetings and eat in my office. It's not a practice of mine to go to lunch.
During the time period that you were dating, would your security team ever take you two together anywhere?
No.
Never.
If there was a lunch that occurred that I just described, if there was a meal that occurred that I just described, anything outside of that, and it needs to be very clear. Not often. Once, twice. Because I want to be over-inclusive, I'm saying once or twice. I'm not certain that it happened, but I'd rather be over-inclusive with you.
So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
No. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, do you have any problem?
I object to getting any personal records of mine.
We're not dealing with privilege to a witness.
And I'm not dealing with privilege. What we had offered to put them in camera for the court to review, and I just want to know if she has any
That's
problem.
That's something to do with a witness.
Okay, you have to file as part of your job something called an income and financial disclosure report, correct?
That's correct.
And you filed your first one, so you filed 2 to date, is that right?
Is it 2 or 3? I probably would have filed 21, 22, and maybe I haven't filed 23 yet, because isn't it due like June of the next year?
April, I believe. So you filed your first one, it looks like April 15th, 2022, and your second one April 17th, 2023. Does that sound familiar?
I don't remember the dates, but you're an officer of the court. I hope you're telling the truth now.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you. I already gave you a copy. Exhibit 20 and 21.
Can somebody bring me some? Yeah. Die for getting a little old. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
those are the ones that you filed.
This looks like me for sure. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Judge, we'd move to admit 20 and 21.
I think you need to delineate which ones.
20
which.
is 2021, so it accounts for the time period, Your Honor, January the 1st, 21 through December the 31st, 2021. That is Defendant's Exhibit 20. Defendant's Exhibit 2021, it accounts for the time period, January the 1st, 2022 through December the 1st of 2022.
All right. Any objection to exhibits 20 and 21?
Nope. Sorry.
From other counsel? Admitted without objection.
When did your personal relationship with Mr. Wade end?
Our personal relationship ended in this year. So let's be very clear so that we don't mix words. I don't want to mix words in here. Mr. Wade is my friend right now. Mr. Wade, I would say, has been my friend since 2020. I think he started out as like a mentor and a professional colleague. He became my friend and somebody that I really respected. I feel very indebted to Mr. Wade for taking on the task of this job. And he is certainly my friend and one of the people that I respect the most. So if you ask about a personal relationship, I consider myself to have a personal relationship right now, Mr. Wade. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Anna Cross. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Mr. Abadi. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Andrew Evans.
Okay, let me just clarify that.
I have a personal relationship with him as we speak right now. I don't think that's what you're asking. I think that's what
Romantic
you're asking.
relationship. When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end?
My-
Did it end?
Me and Mr. Wade, we are good friends. My respect for him has grown over these 7 weeks of attacks. We are very good friends. I think, but for these attacks, it would have been a friendship that, as life goes, he would have stopped having. I think that you have cemented that we'll be friends till the day we die.
Let's. I'm handling.
Yo, she is the realest I have ever seen. Yo, she said, basically, she was like, look, whatever we had fizzled out pretty much. But over these last couple of weeks, with the way y'all been attacking us and digging into our personal history and our love life and what we did and what we didn't do, yo, we is rock solid. That's my dog. This deeper than rap now. She said it's a forever type of bond now. She said it ain't even about the dick. It's about the fact that he rolling. Now, whatever he done did over these last several weeks has shown her that he is the guy that she could trust and that she know he got her back for shit show. Shout out to Fani is the realest.
Let's say that. Let's have it.
She asked about a personal relationship.
She asked when the romantic relationship ended. That's the question.
It's sometime in I'd say late summer of 2023. So I don't believe me in this is what you're really asking about. This is the salaciousness of all of this, right?
No, I'm just asking about your romantic relationship. When you stopped dating?
I think that me and Mr. Wade, so he's a man, he probably would say June or July. I would say we had a tough conversation in August. So that men in relationships at the end of physical intimacy, women in relationships when that tough conversation takes place.
And where, when did he come to, I guess, a condo? I'm not sure what you call the condo apartment. Would he come and stay at that condo or visit you there? I'm sorry, visit you there.
What condo, what apartment? I want to be clear.
So not your house. I know you classified one as house and one as condo, so I'm trying to use those terms.
So there's been more. See, what you don't understand is because of this case, I got to move. And so I need
If you could ask a more precise question.
Yes, please give me the time period.
Mr. Wade visited you at the place you laid your head.
When?
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Well,
You see.
Mr. Say, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes. Be back in 5.
May I go to that?
Oh, she kind of thick. Okay. Listen, that was day 1. Fire. Pure fire. Fanny left the yo. They had to go to recess. She said she shut it down. Day 2 is happening right now. I can't wait to watch and react to day 2. Fani Willis, yo, we might have a star on our hands. Hold up, yo, y'all got Fani fucked up. That's what y'all need to know. Y'all got Fani fucked up. Shout out to Fani. Hey, listen, this is man Dana Blake. This is food for thought. Y'all do the dishes. Yo, subscribe to this channel, because only right here we gonna react with the litness. We're gonna react with this excitement, because this is exciting. I don't care about all the other we're gonna get to Trump. But yo, right now, the spotlight is on Fani, and right now, Fani is delivering. What y'all think, man? Is this not loving hip hop Atlanta or what? Shit. Bandana, man. Good. Y'all niggas crazy. I'm voting for Fani. She need to